Well, I mean, it started off with Stephanie texting me at night saying, oh my gosh, I have this great opportunity. I mean, I'll let you say your discussion with Amanda.
Yeah, so I got an email that said that she's teaching a contemporary topics class, and it was decided by the class that the first unit of study would be social media and mental health. And she was wondering if I would come in as an outside expert speaker to answer some of the questions that come up throughout. But then I just had like whoa, what if we made this part of our podcast? And I thought that because Don and I have already had 2 episodes for our caregivers revolving around anxious generation. So this gives the student voice, and I just thought this is a great opportunity. So they do have questions for us that we didn't get to today. So now it's like Mrs. Miller said, what would be the next steps? So I think we're going to sit down and do a podcast, not for airing, but for the class, and share the answers to their questions, because they were really good questions. So they're really thinking through this, which I think is really great. It's student-led, student-directed. It's my understanding that before we came, they did sort of a little research dive into social media and mental health.
As creatures, as social creatures, we always when we're talking to someone, we always observe their body language and what their face is saying. So if we're not with them and seeing what they're saying and observing these social things, we're not going to know how to act around people socially and how to actually react to their emotions or their reactions, to social situations.
This to me is the defining issue right now with young people.
Well, and they identified it too.
Yes.
It's not just us. I think that was where the power came in. It was they could have picked anything that they wanted. And then when we asked them, it's very relevant. It means something to them. It's impacting them. So it was cool to just be a part of it in a small scale.
I think sometimes we're always aware of we really need to get student input. I think they get it. I think even the ones who are neck deep in it, I think they understand there's something not right. I remember growing up, there was this giant black lung they would bring into science class. This is what your lungs look like when you smoke. I think we need to do a similar kind of thing. This is what happens when you mindlessly scroll. And it's not just them.
So I think that they just don't know what they don't know. I think they do have an understanding, but we have to remember, and by we, I'm saying globally, anyone that is in the position to be a caregiver, we have to understand that they have this is how they've grown up. They don't have experience with anything without it. And I'm a firm believer that the adults have to create the systems for success.
I have my phone out on my desk, and when I get a notification, I glance at it. I don't go on it or anything, but I have to be able to see what's going on my phone.
And that's attention fragmentation. That's exactly what you're describing. So my question is, how many of you have ever heard either your caregiver or you or someone you know say, I'm great at multitasking? It is not possible. It's not, you're just shifting. You only have so much attention to give. When that comes up, we're listening to somebody, we're engaged in a story, a movie, whatever it might be, boom, that comes up, you're drawn, that attention goes toward that and less toward what you were focused on.
I can't even tell you how many times I've been in a conversation with my brother or somebody, and he gets on his phone and I'm still talking to him, and he's just looking at his phone, and I'm like, are you there? Are you okay? And he's completely zoned out. He doesn't hear me. He's just straight into his phone.
Are you better at that?
No.
Oh, okay. I appreciate the honesty because
I'm not, but it's just so weird seeing somebody go from being so involved in the conversation, and then the second they pull out their phone, they're completely disconnected.
It's easy to see the problems that other people have.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's really, you have to be reflective to say, oh, yeah, I'm kind of guilty of that too. And I think that's what it takes, is helping them understand the pulling back the curtain. You mentioned the term social engineering. I think they get that. I mean, we are being engineered to do certain things and act a certain way.
Talked about in class too, some of that apps don't show you what time it is.
Do you know what else is infamous for not having clocks or being able to see time? Casinos. And I'm going to read a section on that. But they don't just do that. They didn't just forget the clocks. They do that for a reason.
Also, we are learning from them
Oh,
because
yeah.
we also did not grow up where every single mistake that you make could be publicized.
It's tough being their age.
It is, and it's tough parenting
Yeah.
their age. We should all be concerned if this keeps going on this trajectory, that we really need to stop the train and put some systems in place for our teens and younger, quite honestly. We just feel so passionate
Yeah.
about it, and that we really think that it's a great opportunity to walk alongside and to do this learning together. So thank you for the opportunity. We appreciate the opportunity to go into the LA class. Hopefully we'll get to do things like this in the future.